Knowing that I finally reached my goal and was able to win the medal, it just meant so much to me.
My guest is a moderator, a speaker, and a professional athlete.
If I listen to people when they tell me, you can't, of course I will not be able to do it. But if I don't listen to them and if I find a solution, if I try a way, I will find out that I am able to do it.
He's Austria's most successful Paralympic swimmer.
The opportunities should be equal for everyone, with or without a disability.
My name is Alexander. I'm part of the People and Culture team at Greiner.
Greiner Talks. We talk transformation. Listen in and get inspired.
Welcome, Andreas Onea.
Thank you for having me. Really looking forward.
Andreas, we're here at the Greiner meeting space in Vienna at the main train station. How's your day so far? Where are you coming from?
Oh, I had an event that I had to moderate about swimming courses for kids, where we try to help them be safe in the water and not let them die in incidents when they drown, because drowning is one of the highest cases for kids in accidents. So that's what we try to prevent. And I had to moderate the press conference, and but I'm really fired up because I see that we can have impact with what we do, and I'm really looking forward to our interview today.
By moderating an event about swimming, you were combining two of your areas of interest.
That's what I try to do, to be active in all my spaces of activity and try to have the most impact with them.
You are a professional swimmer. You are a moderator, a speaker. You are also a father. What is your main focus at the moment, and how do you manage to make all of that work?
So my main focus would be to not go under, to try to survive myself and be able to manage all of them, to give my best in all areas of my life. But of course, the main focus is my little boy. Right now, in a few weeks, my other boy will be born, so we're really looking forward to that. And this is basically the main objective of everything, like be someone they can look up to, and seeing what we can achieve if we never give up, if we just stay focused, if we give everything, and if we just love people and give our best for them. And if my sons can look up to me and see that in me, I will have the power to do my training, to host as many events as possible, and also to speak to a lot of people.
Just before you arrived, I watched one of your clips on YouTube for a campaign called Papa Sein, Being That, which aims to change society's perception of what it means to be an active dad. Did it shift your priorities in life?
I think it made them more clear to me. So I had them, but it made them like really clear that this is the most important thing. There's no medal I can win is more important than spending minutes and time and hours and years with my son and impacting him and the other one that is coming in a few weeks. So I think it made it more clear to me. And especially the campaign that I was part of was important to show that we as fathers and parents with disabilities have the same right as well to have kids, to show them the world and explain to them what it is about and how we can move forward as a society.
Andreas, for our listeners who are not so familiar with your career, what are the most important successes in your sports career?
Oh, hard to focus on a few of them. So I would say the Paralympic medal in Rio de Janeiro in 2016 would be the most important achievement that I made. I also would shed some light on the most painful moments of my career because they were important as well. I lost the medal in London at the Paralympic Games in 2012 by 26 hundredths of a second. So this was very important for my career as well because it sharpened my focus on training, on being the best version of myself, on being focused, knowing what I want to do, and making me able to compete for the medal in Rio de Janeiro with the outcome that I wanted. So I think those two moments would be the most pivotal. I won in total 12 medals on international level, World Championships, European Championships, and also had the fun moment of winning a world record, which is also dear to my heart.
I saw that video of your race in London and it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, but still I missed the podium, so it was very close. It was very hard. I had more goosebumps with the video in Rio de Janeiro, so being on the podium and knowing that I finally reached my goal and was able to win the medal, it just meant so much to me.
Andreas, talking about your life and your story is impossible without speaking about Sunday, the 3rd of May, 1998. That was a fateful, a decisive day in your life. a life which you call a gift. Would you like to share with us in a nutshell what happened on this day?
Of course, my parents are originally from Romania, and we visited some family and wanted to bring my granddad visiting us to Austria. And when we came back, it started raining and there was oil on the road and my father lost control over the car. We got thrown from the streets into a field. And during the process of being in the accident, I got thrown out of the car. The security belt blocked my arm and ripped it off. So I flew out of the window and should have died in that moment instantly. I landed in some field and it should have ended. And you said that I see my life as a gift. And that's just the perspective that helps me to be thankful and to look at this decisive day in a positive manner and not in a tragic manner, to see what I lost, but to be able to focus on what I gained and my life and the possibilities that came out of that accident, even though they were being with a disability, missing my left arm. But I've learned so much with this positive attitude to just find the right perspective and never let me focus too much on the negative side of things.
What was your reaction to that tragic accident, or what was your family's reaction to that?
So my reaction was pretty normal as a kid. I tried to stay active, to be the fastest, be the strongest, so prove everyone wrong who told me that now I'm not able to do stuff. So nothing changed for me. And I think it helps when you have an accident when you are a child. For my family, it was really hard. My parents were heavily injured. My grandfather died. So the perspective for our family was not good. My father was a migrant, not speaking German, having to change jobs, not being able to work with his leg that was injured. So it wasn't very good for us, having no income for 2 years. But still, my father taught me that it's important to stay positive, to have a positive outlook on the future. I saw this in him. It impacted me. And that's why I started with telling you about impacting my sons, because this is what my father did for me.
And how did you impact your father in that situation?
So I remember a story he told me, and this meant so much to me. He was in a coma for 10 days, and they afterwards told him what happened. And he started crying, and I saw him, and I went to him and asked him, "Papa, why are you crying?" And he was emotionally not in a very good state, and he was like, "How can I not cry? You're very hurt. I'm injured. Your mother is not well. Grandpa is not well. How can I not be crying?" And my response was, they told me I will get like a robotic arm and everything will be all right. And he saw this positive attitude in me and realized that now he has to make a decision. And it's in life, it's very much about decision making all the time. Do you stay down or do you find a solution? Do you try to uplift yourself and the others that are depending on you, your family, your little boys? And that's what he did, because he saw that obviously I'm ready for what's to come, and he has to be ready as well. And this was a very defining moment for him as well.
Let's fast forward from 1998, 6 years forward to 2004. What happened in these 6 years? At the age of 12, you became the Austrian state champion in breaststroke swimming. Where did this incredible story take its turn? So basically, after the accident, my family had to keep me healthy and keep me active. And they started going to rehabilitation with me. And I started doing sports, different sports. And I kind of just landed in the sports of swimming. I don't know why. My parents cannot swim up until this day. I was a non-swimmer, so I learned swimming with just one arm. And I just started training. It was very healthy for me. And after a few years of just being there, they told me I can go to a competition. I was dead last there, but I got a little trophy as a prize of recognizing my achievement of being there as the youngest. And this motivated me. And I was like, oh, I got a trophy for doing nothing. Maybe I can win a medal for going harder. And I started training harder and better. And then when I was 12, I won the national championship, which was very nice. And of course, in a very difficult phase of being at this young age in puberty, where other people are maybe not so fond with you having a disability, they make fun of you, they put you in uncomfortable situations. And at the same time, I knew I'm the fastest, I'm the best, and whatever they tell me, I should not let myself be downed by them. And who or what was your main source of inspiration at that time?
So basically, of course, I saw how my parents handled the situation. I also had contact with other people with disabilities at the same time. During rehabilitation, I saw people who were training, preparing for big competitions right next to me. One of them, Thomas Rosenberger, came back from the Paralympic Games in Sydney 2000 with a silver medal. And I was like, whoa, he won a silver medal at the Olympics and he has a family, he has a job, he's very well integrated, he's happy. A person with disability can be happy. And the only difference between me and him is that he's in a wheelchair and he rolls around from A to B. So why shouldn't I be able to be happy as well and achieve everything that he has achieved? So this seeing what is possible made me think what is possible for myself. And this is the first step of envisioning a future where you can reach your goals, where you fulfill your potential and not letting yourself be downed by circumstances that are not happy or are not very well, or would normally show you or tell you, that's not for you.
In your lectures, you're sometimes quoting a sentence, "You can't do that." What do you associate with that? What's the story behind it?
So basically, after I got out of the hospital, this is one of the first things that I heard. You can't do that. So because now I was missing an arm, I can't do that. And I realized that people think this way. And I went back to kindergarten to visit my friends, and kids are very honest. So one of them came to me and told me, now you cannot fight me anymore. And I was like, why? Just because I'm missing an arm? And I realized that this is his impression, because I have a disability, I cannot do that. And I wanted to prove him wrong and show him that I'm able to do that. For my parents, I always was encouraged, you can do it. We will find a solution. We'll find a way. And now I'm outside my protected bubble and people tell me, you cannot do that. And it was very important for me to visualize what I want to achieve. I want to prove him wrong. I want to show him that I can fight him. But I realized that he has an advantage. He has two arms and I don't have two arms anymore. So I needed to find a solution. And it showed me that it's important to know where you want to go, but also to know how you want to get there. So I needed to use what I have in a more efficient, in a better way. And I put my leg behind his leg. And with the one arm that I had, I threw him over and I proved him wrong. I can fight him. And the moral of the story is, of course, not that violence is a solution. Violence is never a solution. He didn't get hurt. So, but for me, it was very important to see I can do it. And if I listen to people when they tell me you can't, of course I will not be able to do it. But if I don't listen to them and if I find a solution, if I try a way, I will find out that I am able to do it.
Being treated differently, that is closely connected to discrimination, I would say. How do you experience discrimination? How do you feel about discrimination? And most importantly, do you have any strategies how to tackle discrimination?
So, of course, discrimination is something that you realize is present in our society. That is something that is hurtful. That is something that is just very, very painful. And I had to realize that discrimination is a thing that you can find in ways you would never have thought possible. So I started swimming and paraswimming was too small. And I had to go into swimming with people with two arms, non-disabled. And I would swim at a competition and I would get disqualified. And I would ask the referee why he would disqualify me. And he tells me that I touched the wall with just one arm.
Wow.
So the rules would say you have to touch the wall with both arms at the same time. I cannot do that. I don't have two arms, but rules are rules. We know that in Austria it's very important. And he was not ready to find a solution, to find a way where I can be part of this competition. And this is a way of discrimination. This is something that, explicit or implicit, we face as people with disabilities in our society. When people don't attribute us the talents or the possibility to work, to be able to participate in our workforce, we don't get jobs offerings. So we are not able to be employed at the same rate as people without disabilities. And this is just the effect that it has on the economic factor, but also not being able to go somewhere because it's not accessible, or not being invited somewhere because people don't want to have people with disabilities with them. So this is a very harsh reality. I had to face it when I was younger. It helps when you are a medal winner. Suddenly you are welcome everywhere. Opportunities are open for you. So I'm in a very privileged situation. But I know that for the 15% of people with disabilities out there in Austria, I'm one of very, very few who has those opportunities, and the opportunities should be equal for everyone with or without the disability.
This kind of discrimination is quite often invisible to people who do not experience it themselves. What can we do to change that?
Just be open-minded, just see the human and see the abilities and not the one thing that maybe is missing or the one disability that is clearly or not clearly there. A lot of disabilities are invisible. A lot of challenges, a lot of missing accessibility is invisible. So we have to talk about it. We have to create spaces where we have touch points, where people with and without disabilities can live together, can experience society together. That's why sports is such a huge tool for that, because it's just about having fun, about moving together, about spending time together with or without the disability. And we need to take away the barriers so that everyone can experience that. And with that, if you have a colleague with a disability at your workplace, you won't make any difference, because you know you're going to your sports action with them, you're playing sports, you're going to your cultural activities with them. So it doesn't make a difference. But we need those touch points, and we need them as early as possible in kindergarten at best, so that we don't segregate our society with being able and being disabled.
In our diversity strategy here at Greiner, we work very hard to provide equal opportunities for everyone. That, of course, includes people with disabilities. And as you said, I agree that speaking about it and making the topic visible is an important first step, at least.
And of course, it's just so simple sometimes, just talking to the people. I hear a lot from companies who tell me, oh, we cannot find anyone with a disability who wants to be employed with us. And I tell them, I don't believe you. And I ask them, is your website with your job openings, is it accessible? And they tell me, maybe not exactly how it should be. Or are your PDFs with the information about the jobs, are they machine readable? And if they're not, you're automatically excluding everyone who is dependent on a software that reads PDF to them. So by having those processes and structures that are not inclusive, we automatically exclude people. We believe they're not there, but basically they cannot access us because they cannot read our information and cannot apply for the jobs that we have. So we have a company that would like to have people with disabilities employed at them, and we have people with disabilities who would love to be employed there, but because the communication is not working and the structures are not accessible, we don't get the match there. So this is something that is low level, that is easily fixable. We just need to be open-minded and attack the problem head on.
So we need to remove that barriers that are existing and provide an enormous amount of people workforce to companies that they can access and make use of.
Of course, and this is one of the growth factors for the future. We are missing a lot of people in our workforce. A lot of people are going into their retirement, and there are not enough people coming into the workforce. And we have a lot of people with disabilities who are talented, who are motivated, who are loyal. They would love to have the opportunity to work. They're just waiting for it. We just need to see that not just as a social factor, as a factor to grow our businesses. And of course, if you are a company that employs people with disabilities, you have a new perspective on your products, on your processes, on your communications that can be more inclusive. If you do that, you can reach 15% more people out there who are just waiting to consume your product, to be part of your journey and make you richer as a company. So it's a win-win-win for everyone.
Andreas, anyone can bring about change. How do you bring about change in your life today?
So basically, it starts with the little stuff. It starts with the everyday stuff. Of course, in training, I have to give everything every day, every time. I need to know my energy. I need to allocate it in the right places. I also need to be able to reach people in those moments. I need to get them with me on my journey and get them fired up for the things that I burn for, so we can change society together. And it's just so easy. I know it's hard. I know it sounds easy. It's just so easy doing it step by step, using every opportunity to talk to people, to open up their eyes, to have some stories that you can tell and show them, look, it's so easy. And if we're not doing it, this is the outcome. This is the consequence. This is the way we are discriminating against people. And by this, we are losing together and we can win together. So just go at it step by step, knowing the vision, knowing where you want to go, and knowing that you should never give up. And together we will reach the goal of everyone.
Andreas, already at your age, you can look back on an incredible career. if you had one piece of advice for our listeners, for somebody who wants to change something, who wants to make a change in his or her life, what would that piece of advice be?
Be courageous and just talk to people. Ask them. The first years of my career, I was afraid of asking people to help me find a pool to train in, or to be a partner or a sponsor for my road. And also be courageous in the things you want to achieve. The first years of my career, I was like, okay, now I'm fast, but let's see. And just know that there are things you can achieve if you just go hard and work hard and just envision them. So being more courageous earlier on in my career, I think would have helped me a lot, but also be thankful. So I look back to everything and I'm just so thankful. It should have ended on the 3rd May of 1998. And now I'm 26 years have passed and I'm so thankful. And this helps me not be under stress, not be under pressure, not to, I have to. No, I can. It's something that I'm gifted. It's something that has been open to me to use, to be happy, but also to give back and to help others. So being in this state of mind is just, I think, for my part, in my point of career, is just the best point to be, because it will give me the energy and the motivation to go on, and also the energy and the motivation to stay focused on the things that matter.
Andreas, we are slowly coming to an end of this conversation, but before I let you go, I would love to invite you to do a short word wrap with me, if that's fine.
Of course.
Greiner Talks. Let's wrap it up. I get inspired by
every other people around me that I get to talk longer than 30 seconds to.
We need to start.
Just think about how we can take everyone on the road to success.
Let's talk about
inclusion. How can we be open to reach people with disabilities, to give them the same opportunities, to not make a difference?
What I wish for
is for everyone to have the right perspective on life, to be thankful, to be focused, to not let negative thoughts be stronger than the positive ones.
Your message to the world.
Know what you want to achieve, where you want to go. Be ready to give everything to get there. And on the road, just take as many people with you as possible.
Thank you, Andreas. It has been a real pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is mine.
And thank you everyone for listening in. Make sure to check out Andreas' TED Talk on YouTube, which is titled Embrace Life with Just One Arm. Keep believing in yourself and have a fantastic day.
Visit Greiner.com. Share your thoughts and let us know who you think should be our next guest. Greiner Talks. Subscribe now.